Till I pay my dues affiliated to this paper. I need freedom from my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinate. Topped off the porch like I can touch the sky. Red is not one trip. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing. I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it, trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing, you do best not to test it. Yeah, you right, real all in my blood supply. Get ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. You know co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I might just paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everyone who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and everything looks and sounds good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things look and sound bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody in the building early, all right? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with the Brooklyn Queen? Make sure y'all follow those instructions Brooklyn Queen got up on the screen. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. What's good with it, bro? We got AB Promotions in the building. Shout out to my man AB, a.k.a. Fomosaki. Shout out to my man Dwayne Rhodes. What's good with it, bro? My man DJ Elmo is in the building. What's good with the DJ Elmo? Good to see you as always. And shout out to T.F.T.C. What is good with y'all, man? It is good to see each and every one of you, all right? So we are going to talk about some interesting things today, like we always do around this time, right? Like we always do around this time, right? We're going to talk about some interesting things. We're going to talk about the nationwide layoffs that continue to happen. Now, my question for you all is, as these nationwide layoffs continue, where will people work? How will people generate their income? That is the question, right? That is the question. So we got quite a bit of content about the nationwide layoffs that are happening, right? Shout out to Katsy for standing on business. Make sure y'all show Katsy some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Katsy for standing on business for 27 months. Definitely appreciate you, Catsy.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
All right. And shout out to my man Carlton Way. I don't know if I said shout out to my man Carlton Way or not, but if I did, shout out to you again. If I didn't, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said people will be used as energy producers for AI and Bitcoin mining. How many people have seen the Institute for Human Obsolescence? If you guys have seen the Institute for Human Obsolescence, give me a thumbs up. If you have not, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Catsy. You know, back in the day when I used to stream on another app, I used to show this to people all the time. I'll show it to you guys real quick. All right. Let me see. The Institute for Human Obsolescence. Oh, looks like they might have taken the. Oh no, they didn't. I was gonna say, looks like they might have taken the. They might have taken the site down. All right, but let's take a look at this Institute for Human Obsolescence. Catsy says we will be batteries. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. I definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure you guys show AB Promotions some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man AB Promotions for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
We are absolutely not the March of Dimes. We are absolutely not the March of Dimes. AB Promotions said, make each other great again. Bro, that's facts. That's big facts. If y'all agree with AB Promotion, throw some flames in the chat. Facts. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. Now check this out. Exploring the production of data as a form of labor, shifting the new paradigm of invisible labor. You see how these people have these vests and arm, cuffs and leg cuffs with these electrodes on them, and they're plugged up into some source of electricity. Institute of Human Obsolescence. It says machines are ousting us, as it happens some time ago to the horses after the invention of the steam engine. Humans are becoming obsolete to perform mechanical labor. Soon, with the advance of artificial intelligence, it will also affect our possibilities to be useful workers performing intellectual labor. Biological labor, exploring the potential of the human body to produce capital. Unused heat. Alone in the Netherlands, there are 1,700 kilowatts of unexploited electricity to be harvested from the human body heat. Benefit. From the electricity extracted of excess heat, the bodysuit runs a computer producing cryptocurrency. Workers have to lay down and do nothing. The bodysuit maintains their body temperature. We mine recently created cryptocurrencies that have more potential to grow in value. So there's that. There's that. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization. Brooklyn Queen says, sipping champagne on the beach. Great. Facts. If y'all trying to sip some champagne on the beach, throw some champagne bottles in the chat.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, oh, shoot, I thought I was just being crazy. Nah. Nah. Now, do you all remember that article that we read a couple streams back where we talked about how 1,000 millionaires were minted every day in 2024? Something else interesting happened in 2024. Charitable giving grew to $593 billion in 2024, propelled by a quote-unquote strengthening U.S. economy and a booming stock market. How many people knew that $593 billion were given away as tax deductions? If you were aware of this, give me a thumbs up. If you were not aware of this, give me a thumbs down. U.S. charitable giving increased 3.3% to $593 billion in 2024, lifted by the strength of the economy. The annual report from the Giving USA Foundation, produced in partnership with the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, found this was the second highest level on record after adjusting for inflation. Now, here's my question. In 2024, how did so much money get given away for charity? Where did it come from? These are the questions, right? Giving grew at the fastest pace since 2021, when C-19 pandemic led many Americans to make larger than usual donations. Now, how were people making larger than usual donations when people were struggling during C-19? How? It was also the first time since then that growth in giving outpaced inflation. Again, how? As two of the report's lead researchers, we see many signs of healthy growth in charitable giving in 2024. Our data shows that, quote unquote, the strong economy, which grew 2.8% in 2024, bolstered individual and corporate giving and allowed foundations to maintain the historically high level of giving seen from them in recent years. Okay. It also helped that stock markets performed well in 2024. Consumer sentiment was generally positive, personal income rose, and inflation continued to ease. Does this sound like anything you all remember? This doesn't sound like anything I remember. Let me know if it sounds like anything you remember. Donations to nearly every charitable category we track grew. Okay. Giving increased slightly to $592.5 billion in 2024, reversing a 2-year decline. Okay. So what this basically means is that the charitable giving increased because these wealthy people were making that much more money that they needed this charitable giving to shield them from the tax consequences. Yeah, shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said charities owned or operated by the very folks donating to the charities. It's a tax write-off. Facts. If you guys agree with DJ Elmo, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Individuals and corporations led overall growth. Individual donors continued to provide the bulk of the nation's charitable gifts. The $392 billion they gave to charity accounted for 2/3 of the year's total. Giving by individuals grew 5.1% from 2023, a swifter pace than for all donations. Corporate giving rose even faster. It was up 6% to a record $44 billion. Okay. This growth reflects the high pre-tax profits earned by corporations in 2024 and the trend towards corporations donating a higher share of pre-tax profits in the recent years. So this paragraph, for the most part, coincides with exactly what we were saying. The charitable giving can be looked at as a tax shield. The reason why the charitable giving increased is because the taxable income or the taxable revenue increased. Okay. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I said I would do the same thing yesterday. Facts. That's what actually made me say, let me just throw this into the stream because AB Promotions will get a kick out of this. For example, corporations generally donated less than 1% of pre-tax profits from 2004 to 2018. But our research team started to see corporate giving rise to 1% or more in the 2019 data. This was also the case in 2024 when corporate giving stood at 1.1% of pre-tax profits. Corporate philanthropy has grown by more than 50% since 2019, a trend that has coincided with rising in-kind donation of insulin products and other pharmaceuticals. Drug makers made an estimated $24 billion in these donations in 2024, up 41% since 2019. Now, let me ask you all this question. Do you all think that the charitable giving increased at a rate concurrent with the rate of increase in their revenues. Let me know what you guys think. To be sure, corporations' donations amounted to just 7% of overall giving in 2024. Meanwhile, grants made by foundations exceeded $100 billion for the third straight year. Almost $1 out of every 5 contributed to charity was from a foundation in each of those years. Giving by foundations in the 5 years ending in 2024 was higher than any other period since Giving USA has tracked this data. Foundations giving, however, remained fairly flat from 2023 to 2024 at about $110 billion. Around 8% of all gifts made in 2024 were from bequests included in people's wills, the same as in 2023. Bequests totaled $44 billion, down 4.4% when adjusted for inflation. But the total given through bequest varies quite a bit from year to year. Okay. So that's interesting. What that says is that the people who benefit from this are making a lot more money. If charitable donation increases, what that means is that the rich are getting richer. How many people have heard of quote unquote Kroger? Well, here's what Kroger is doing. Kroger announced closure of 60 stores across the United States. Let me ask you guys this question. Obvious question. You guys know I like to ask obvious questions, right? Why is Kroger closing 60 stores? Why are they doing that? What's happening there? So far, no cuts to King Soopers or City Market operations in Colorado have been discussed. Kroger is closing 60 stores across the United States. A bunch of people going to lose their jobs. Why are they doing that? Yeah. Shout out to Katsy. Katsy said, me. It's the biggest chain in Ohio and Kentucky. And now they're, what did they say yesterday? Quote unquote, right sizing. Grocery giant Kroger revealed during its first quarter earnings call this month that it will shut down about 60 quote unquote underperforming stores over the next 18 months. At the same time, the company intends to open new locations throughout this year and the next. We're simplifying our business and reviewing areas that will not be meaningful to our future growth. Unfortunately, today, not all of our stores are delivering the sustainable results we need, said Kroger chairman and interim CEO Ronald Sargent in the June 20th earnings call. Now, let's break this down and ask this question. Why are these stores underperforming? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. Question. These people that are losing their jobs at Kroger, where are they going to work? Where are they going to get their money? Do these people have Bitcoin? Are these people staking Ethereum? Do these people have Solana? What are they going to do? Do these people own assets? Can they fall back and say, I'll just collect rental income? These are paycheck slaves. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What is a paycheck slave? We don't take these decisions lightly, but this will make the company more efficient, and Kroger will offer roles in other stores to all associates currently employed at affected stores. The specific stores targeted for closure have not officially been confirmed. Kroger is the parent company to King Soopers and City Market. King Soopers has 120 grocery stores in 37 cities in the state, while City Market has 32 grocery stores in 27 cities, according to their website. When asked if any Colorado locations would be affected, a Kroger representative told the Post that there are no further details to share at this time. Basically, what that means is mind your business. Right? What that means basically is mind your business. right? Mind your business. Don't worry about what we're doing. We're other media outlets have already identified several locations. United Food and Commercial Workers Local 400, representing 35,000 members in retail, food, healthcare, department stores, food processing, and other sectors across Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, announced that 4 of their represented stores will be closing. So it looks like those unions really protected their members, right? Yeah. Shout out to Katsy. Katsy said, paycheck to paycheck survival, always one paycheck away from homelessness or more or less. Yeah. 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 Shout out to AB. If you guys would agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. AB said, because people don't have the money to buy necessities anymore. Here's my question. Here's the question. If people don't have the money to buy necessities anymore, how are they going to survive? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, Kroger, food inflation at all-time high. Working class families can't afford food. And that's one of the reasons why people are buying so much unhealthy food and so much fast food, because you can get that stuff a lot cheaper. Right? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen says there are a lot of the older stores are closing, and Publix has lit a fire under their houses to build newer stores, trying to turn into Walmart. Changing business model, right? Anytime there's a business model change, you got to change with the business model or extinction, right? The community served by our members at these stores will suffer as a direct result of Kroger prioritizing Wall Street investors over their customers and hardworking employees, said UFCW Local 400 Union President Mark Federici in a statement. Well, this is one of the reasons why it's time for us to move to Wall Street. If you guys would agree, it's time for us to move to Wall Street. Time to pack your bags, move to Wall Street. Give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. If you're a shareholder, they're going to try to make you money. If you're an employee, they're going to try to get rid of your job. Yeah. Being a shareholder is the right side of that equation. Right? This is just the reality of things. This is one of the reasons why it's so important to have assets. Right? Yeah. Shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne says about to have 3 generations living in one household again. Yeah. Facts. I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably like that now. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, I disagree. An apple is cheaper than a honey bun. Hey, I saw some crazy YouTube thumbnail where, you know what? Shout out to Black Men Being Brutally Honest. It was actually on Kev's channel. Some dude somewhere deleted his uncle over a honey bun. I can't with it anymore. I can't with it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says closing these stores will not only result in fewer good union job opportunities, it will further limit food access in rural areas where there are few, if any, alternatives to buy groceries, all for a purported modest financial benefit to the company. Well, let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that employees of the company should have invested in stock in the company so that they could be shareholders and kind of control their own fate? If you think so, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. Looking forward, Kroger also expects new store openings in 2026 and beyond. Though it was not revealed where these new stores will be opening, company leadership said they will consider sites across the country, focusing on areas where they have competitive advantages or growth potential. I would say open up a store on the blockchain. Right? Open up a BRC Kroger's, right? Or open up an ERC20 Kroger's, right? Tokenize Kroger's. That's what I would say. Get BlackRock involved, right? If you're having financial problems, I feel bad for you, son. Because once BlackRock get involved in it, ain't no fun. Hit me. Right? Oh, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. On February 1st of this year, Kroger operated more than 2,700 stores. The planned closures account for about 2.2% of its total locations. The company said Kroger held off on closing stores amid efforts to merge with fellow grocery giant Albertsons. Kroger and Albertsons first proposed the merger in 2022. They argued that combining would help them better compete with big retailers like Walmart and Costco. However, the Federal Trade Commission and 2 states, Washington and Colorado, sued to block the merger last year, saying it would raise prices and lower workers' wages by eliminating competition. Well, now it looks like worker wages are being lowered by eliminating jobs. Way to go, government. Right? Way to go, government. The company expects the closures to have a quote-unquote modest financial benefit overall and plans to reinvest the savings from the closures into improving consumer experience. I wouldn't reinvest into consumer experience. I would reinvest into starting a Bitcoin treasury if I was Kroger. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that Kroger should start a Bitcoin treasury to save their business? If you guys think that they should, give me a thumbs up. If you think that they shouldn't, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs down. Shout out to the healthcare community, right? The healthcare community, in most cases, high demand jobs, high paying jobs. People think that they're safe. You're not. Especially if you live in the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay, right? Shout out to the Bay. Hey, Bay, Bay. Hey, Bay, Bay, Bay. Mass layoffs hit major Bay Area healthcare network. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why? Let me ask you guys this question. Why are people out here playing Russian roulette with their lives? Why are people out here playing Russian roulette with their livelihood? Why are people not trying to create a money printing machine? They would rather get their money printed from their job. They would rather have a paycheck printed. This is the result of what happens when you have a paycheck printed. When somebody feels like unplugging you, they unplug you. Now these people in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, they run the risk of being de-incomed. Right? De-incomed. Let's see what's going to happen to them. UCSF Health is slashing approximately 200 positions to mitigate serious financial challenges. The hospital network said in a statement to SF Gate on Wednesday. One thing that we should check out is we should check out all of these companies that are laying off all these people and see exactly how much charitable giving they did in 2024. Right? We should see how much charitable giving they did in 2024. And my question for you is, how much charitable giving do you all think that they may have done? Probably a lot. Kristen Bowl, a spokesperson for UCSF, told SF Gate that employees are being notified that their last day will be 60 days from Wednesday. I guess 59 now. Swamp Ass says, when they all on the streets, hand them all out the books about the madness of communism with all the stories and say, this is what you voted for, dipshit. What about them people in New York? We got to get them a special one, right? Because they about to vote in the communist, socialist, right? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, why? Because work wages is the drug corporations, as the drug corporations forget our dreams of independence to do for self. Yeah. And see, as long as you are not in control of your own paycheck, as long as you do not print or mint your own financial means, as long as you do not have assets or currency that is appreciating at a faster rate than inflation, this is your destiny. You're playing Russian roulette with your financial destiny. Shout out to Carlton Way. Carlton Way said, hopefully they will get a severance package. Yeah, it'll probably be a hungry man dinner. Who makes those Salisbury steak dinners? Is it Swanson's? The Salisbury steak? It might be one of those. No. She said those employees won't be expected to show up to work, but they can work on items related to their transition. Oh, wow. What's that mean? They can stand in line at the unemployment office all day? What is that? What does that mean? Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media. Don't you think that these people probably wish they had bought Bitcoin back in 2017? If you all think that these people are seething because they don't have any Bitcoin or they don't have any type of assets to fall back on, give me a thumbs up. If you think that they don't care and they're still not going to do anything to try to fix any type of incoming bottlenecks, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Dwayne Rhodes. Dwayne Rhodes said, New York is pushing AOC hard. Next presidential candidate. She's dumb as rocks. Oh, man. Didn't T-Pain wrote a song about her, didn't he? Bartender. Oh, man. The layoffs were spread across the network and affected positions with the least impact on patients and daily operations. It's really not a good situation to be making employment cuts when it comes to healthcare. Let me ask you guys this question. When it comes to healthcare, if there are employment cuts, what do you all think will happen to the quality of the healthcare delivery at the healthcare system where these cuts are made? What do you think is going to happen? Higher incidence of sentinel events, right? Patients not getting served properly, patients not getting treated properly, lots of infections, lots of run-ins with Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, lots of what they call, quote unquote, sentinel events, right? Not a good situation. Not a good situation. About a quarter of the employees worked part-time and about half worked full-time and held management positions. The cuts represent about 1% of UCSF's workforce, and employees will receive, quote unquote, full UC benefits. There you go, Carlton. They're getting a severance package, including severance and support with career transitions. What is that? A U-Haul to help you clear your office out? The UCSF statement read, Bowles said the exact severance depends on how long an employee has worked for UCSF Health. The organization said the staffing reduction was because of rising operation costs and low reimbursement for services. Let's unpackage this. I need you guys to help me understand. Why are the operation costs rising? And why is there low reimbursement for services? What's going on? What's happening here? While this is a difficult decision, it was necessary to maintain financial stability and continue to deliver the many vital healthcare services we provide in San Francisco and across the Bay Area, UCSF said. Okay. A spokesperson for the Employment Development Department told SFGate that it has not received any warrant filings from UCSF as of Wednesday. Such filings are generally required by the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act in the event, I think this should say in the event, right, of mass layoffs. The staff cuts come as healthcare workers have been striking for more than a week outside of the UCSF Benoff Christian Children's Hospital in Oakland to protest UCSF's proposal to transition the hospital workers to become University of California employees, Oakland side reported. Benoff's Children's Hospital is a standalone healthcare system, but is affiliated with UCSF after the two integrated in 2014. Additionally, the cuts come amid looming funding threats to the National Institutes of Health and UC system from the Trump administration. Dun, dun, dun. Now, these are just looming threats, right? So they're not acting on looming threats. They're acting on existing conditions. Okay? So, yeah. If you're in healthcare, you're not safe. Okay? People always say that healthcare is an economy resistant, career field and yada, yada, yada. Now, I want to ask you guys this question because this is another threat that's incoming, right? What careers are artificial intelligence proof? We have to show this picture. And the reason why we have to show this picture is, does this look and sound familiar? Bitcoin will absorb the entire financial system. I know somebody that said something very similar. As a matter of fact, this illustration almost illustrates how I discussed the quote unquote world market cap. If only. If only. If only. So there's that, right? So now let's deal with this. Let's deal with these signs that people should pay attention to if they're buying or invested in Bitcoin. Okay. Traders should pay attention to this benchmark amid ongoing macroeconomic uncertainty, says billionaire investor Ray Dalio. Now, before we go into this, does anybody know what this indicator may be? Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton Wade said AI can't replace LeBron James yet. I bet you there's some teams that wish that they could replace him. Billionaire Ray Dalio says that investors should keep an eye on one benchmark indicator amid macroeconomic uncertainty. In a new thread on the social media platform X, hedge fund manager Ray Dalio said if the Federal Reserve were to cut interest rates too much, it could lead to further economic hardship, and that traders should monitor the Fed's yield curve. Okay? According to Dalio, a combination of long rates rising, the dollar dipping in value, and an uptick in gold could spell trouble. Now, we know, right, that this is kind of like a triad of situations to come, right? Shout out to Tia. What's good with it, Tia? Definitely appreciate you. Make sure you guys show Tia some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Tia for standing on business for 31 months. Absolutely appreciate you. Please make sure y'all show Tia some love.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate you, Tia. Stack them Satoshis. Stack them Satoshis. Satoshi's going to $1 million. Not in our lifetime, but they will. The Fed is in a very difficult position as it tries to balance the benefits of cutting interest rates with maintaining the value of money. Right now, there is a great deal of uncertainty throughout the economy, along with a deterioration in sentiment. Combine that with political pressure and the realities of our upcoming debt service payments, and you have this value of money conflict. Okay? So changes in the monetary policy, especially if the cut is too aggressive, could lead to a period of concern. Now, if there's a period of concern, what that could potentially cause, more than likely, is a market dip. And my question is, if the markets dip, what do you plan on doing? If the markets dip, baby, dip. If they dip, baby, dip, what you gonna do? My advice, watch the yield curve. If you see long rates rising alongside downward movement in the dollar and rises in gold, you will know there's a movement out of bonds. And we've seen this already, right? This exact scenario right here, we saw this already, right? The yield curve is a graph that shows the interest rates of yields, which is U.S. Treasury securities, across different maturities, from short-term bills to long-term bonds. It reflects market expectations about future interest rates and economic conditions, and is closely monitored by the Federal Reserve and market participants. Earlier this week, Dalio warned against trading the most popular meme stocks as they are bound to fizzle out. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. What are quote unquote meme stocks? What stocks is he talking about that are considered quote unquote meme stocks? Let me know. These memes are typically due to a mix of extrapolating what happened before and emotional considerations. This is why people need to make fact-based decisions, not feeling-based decisions, right? Also, most investors typically don't take into consideration market pricing. In other words, they tend to identify what has been a great investment as great, and they don't pay enough attention to its pricing, even though its pricing is the most important thing. So the Fed yield curve is the macroeconomic indicator that we should pay attention to as we're hoarding our Bitcoin. Okay. Now, we've heard all of these price predictions. I saw crazy price predictions the other day. Crazy price predictions. There's a channel out there on YouTube. I'm not sure what the name of this channel is, but there's a channel, and all of the videos on this particular channel, they are all videos that give a date and say XRP is going to $10,000 a token. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that XRP is going to $10,000 a token in the near future? If you think that XRP is going to $10,000 a token in the near future, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't want to write it off as impossible, right? Because for the most part, anything is possible. Because somebody could say the same thing about Bitcoin. Who saw Bitcoin going to $100,000 in the near future, right? But how many people actually think that this is a viable situation, that XRP could hit $10,000? If you do, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization. Brooklyn Queen said, I know someone named Blacklight Revelations who associated Bitcoin's absorption to black holes in space. I'm just saying. Hey, facts. If you guys agree with Brooklyn Queen, throw them flames in the chat. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Swagger jacking, man. Swagger jacking. You cannot escape swagger jacking. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maine. What's good with it, Maine? Maine calling y'all out. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. What's good with it, Lehman Lucas? Shout out to Maine. Maine calling y'all out. He said nobody thumbs up. Maine calling y'all out. Now, put this price prediction into your alerts. Analyst says $170,000 Bitcoin is closer than you think. Bitcoin is approaching a steep part of the cycle. Okay, let's see what they mean. A popular crypto analyst believes Bitcoin will hit the $170,000 mark sooner than most expect. Pseudonymous analyst Tech Dev tells his 532,100 followers on the social media platform X that after a correction into the 90s range, Bitcoin may soon increase more than 60% from its current value. So I guess we should be expecting a correction to, around the $90,000 range. So make sure you put 170,000 as an alert, and make sure that you put 90,000 in there as an alert too. Okay, we'll see what happens. 95,000 would make the case, would make sense structurally. So we got to make sure that we note 95,000. Okay. Then 170,000 is closer than you think. Tech Dev's bullish case is based on several indicators. He believes Bitcoin cycles have been correlated to the performance of the overall macro economy. Based on his chart and historical patterns, the analyst suggests the business cycle is bottoming and may start to increase, which has coincided with massive Bitcoin rallies in 2013, 2017, and 2021, when the flagship crypto asset hit the cycle peaks. Okay. Tech Dev also uses the copper to gold ratio as a reliable signal pointing to a likely massive Bitcoin surge. The copper to gold ratio, often viewed as a proxy for economic risk appetite, has formed a bottom similar to 2020 or 2016, which preceded Bitcoin bull runs, the analyst says. The steep part lies ahead. Okay. The analyst previously said the M2 money supply year-over-year change is pointing to a brewing Bitcoin surge. The global M2 money supply, a key indicator of liquidity in the world financial system, has shifted from negative to positive annual growth. According to the analyst, this shift has historically preceded each of Bitcoin's parabolic rallies by 6 to 10 months, indicating strong likelihood that a new upward cycle is approaching. Bitcoin is trading for $106,093 at the time of writing, up 2.2% in the last 24 hours. Now, you know, if you ask me, right, at this particular moment in time, Bitcoin is carrying the entire cryptocurrency market. It's carrying the entire market. Here's my question. Aside from Bitcoin, what other cryptocurrencies are having noteworthy performances right now? What other cryptocurrencies are performing? That's the question. Analyst details Bitcoin path to a parabolic rally, says Bitcoin will significantly outperform stocks if history repeats itself. If you have a tenth of a Bitcoin, shout out to Cameron. What's good with it, Cameron? If you have a tenth of a Bitcoin, right, and Bitcoin 10x's, how much money do you have? You just add another zero, right? So you'll go from $10,000 to $100,000. That's the idea, right? If you guys would agree, that's the idea. Give me a thumbs up. If that's not the idea and we're supposed to be doing something else, then, get me back on track. A widely followed cryptocurrency analyst says Bitcoin could ignite a rally like the one witnessed last cycle if history repeats itself. So one of the things that we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of these analysts all pointing to the same signals. They're all saying the same thing, which is good, right? A widely followed cryptocurrency analyst says Bitcoin could ignite a rally like the one witnessed last cycle if history repeats itself. The analyst, pseudonymously known as Kalo, tells his 704,200 followers on the social media platform X that in 2020, Bitcoin sparked parabolic rallies to new all-time highs after the stock market had fully recovered from the C19 crash and broke out to new record highs. Okay. According to Kaleo, the S&P 500 stock index is once again on the verge of breaking out to new all-time highs, following the correction that resulted from the imposition of tariffs on trade partners by the U.S. I believe we see history repeat itself, and as equities break out, Bitcoin does the same and significantly outperforms. That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. I saw a video and Kathy Woods is talking about $25,000 Ethereum. Yeah, that'd be nice too. Just throwing that out there. Right? That would definitely be nice too. As of Friday's close, the S&P 500 is trading at 5,967 points, down by just 3% from its record high of 6,147 points. The pseudonymous analyst further says that unlike the previous cycles, Bitcoin is now attracting new sources of demand. According to Kaleo, this is the reason to be more bullish on the flag crypto asset. Okay. This is the first cycle with spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, something we dreamed of in previous cycles but never saw come into fruition. This allows potential investment of new capital into Bitcoin at a rate we've never seen before. Countries and corporations are starting to build Bitcoin reserves. El Salvador, Tesla, GameStop, and others are only the first dominoes to fall. We finally have a pro-crypto president in the United States pushing for pro-industry regulation. The tech and infrastructure of the industry is also better than it's ever been. DApps are more advanced. Bitcoin is being used as a development layer, and the number of places that accept Bitcoin as a form of payment is higher than it's ever been before. Bitcoin is trading at $104,143 at the time of writing, down by around 7% from the all-time high reached last month. So, you know, it's like we're just waiting. It's like we're just waiting. Okay? So, we got another analyst here. Okay? We've got another analyst here saying similar things. All these analysts, they're all saying the same thing, right? But they're saying it in different ways. So let's take a look at what this person is saying. Now, here's my question, and this is my question for you guys. How long do we have to wait for this? Honestly, you know, it doesn't matter to me, because as long as, you know, whatever, I'm still just buying Bitcoin, right? I'm still just stacking sats, still stacking Satoshis, right? But it would be nice to see some of this, you know, come to pass. Crypto analyst sees Bitcoin mirroring gold's parabolic breakout of 2024. Here's his outlook. All right, so we're looking at these pathways here. Honestly, I don't care how we get there. I just want to get there and be holding a good amount of Bitcoin. Yeah, I wouldn't. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. AB Promotion says Bitcoin hovering around 90,000 and 100,000 is the new normal. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I definitely agree with that. A crypto strategist known for nailing the 2022 Bitcoin bottom says that Bitcoin may be on the verge of igniting a parabolic surge. In a new strategy session, pseudonymous analyst Don Alt tells his 66,000 YouTube subscribers that Bitcoin may be mirroring gold's 2024 price action when the precious metal struggled to clear resistance at 2,100 for multiple weeks before sparking a huge upside burst. Now, I'm not familiar with this person, Don Alt. I don't think I've ever seen this individual's channel. Let me ask you guys, how many of you guys have ever seen this Don Alt individual? Shout out to TD. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to TD. TD. Shout out to TD. TD said, oh, we got 21 people in the live on a Bitcoin stream. Maybe there is hope for some of us. Maybe. What do you guys think? You guys think that there's hope? If you guys think that there's hope, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that there's hope, then put the devil face in the chat. Who is Don Alt? I'm going to have to check out Don Alt's channel. According to the analyst, Bitcoin is likely consolidating below $110,000 to set the stage for a breakout in a parabolic rally to new all-time high prices. Look at the 2,000-ish level of gold. This is the kind of asset we are now. If you expect anything else other than this, I think you're just wrong. So, you know, I don't know. Let's get some proof going there. Let's get some evidence. I think you're just wrong. It's not an acceptable argument for me. You see that breakout level that got tested 4 times and you had false breakouts. I mean, gold didn't move for the longest time, and then it just went up only forever, which is kind of nuts to observe. But basically, I feel we're that asset now where you're going to flirt with the same level like 3 or 4 times, and people are going to lose all of their money before it breaks out. So, you know, that's just basic, right? Don't be a part of the flush out gang. You don't want to be a part of the flush out gang. Shout out to Katsy. I'm not mad at it. Katsy says, well, I'd say there's hope for 21 of us. Hey, 21 is the lucky number when you're dealing with Bitcoin, right? That's the number that you want. 20. How many people would agree? 21 is a cult number when it comes to Bitcoin. That's a good, 21 is a good sign. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing to, you know, that's nothing to, what did they say? Quote unquote, shake a stick at. Right? That's nothing to shake a stick at. So let's check this out real quick. We're going to talk about some of Carlton's people. Retail. Who is retail? Everybody's always mad at retail because retail always does the wrong things and they always mess up the market. They always bringing the market value down. Who is retail? I think somebody put this in the Discord. Shout out to it was either John Guillory, Carlton, or Brooklyn Queen. I can't remember who put it in the Discord, but I think it might have been, maybe it was Brooklyn Queen. I think was it Brooklyn Queen? Brooklyn Queen, did you put this in there? Whoever put this article in the Discord, identify yourself. Identify yourself. 3IQ CEO says no retail investor could ever buy XRP at the price they are getting it globally. So, I mean, they sitting up here talking like, you know, they getting some bricks at a good deal or something like that. So now we're moving into the XRP portion. I've seen, how many people have seen those videos talking about $10,000 XRP? Shout out to Carlton. Of course, of course it would be Carlton because Carlton was the person I didn't say. Shout out to Carlton. Make sure y'all show Carlton some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Carlton. Definitely appreciate this, bro. I should have known this had Carlton's fingerprints all over it, though, when they was going in on retail. St. Jean said their XRP ETF gives investors access to XRP at global rates that retail buyers can't match. In an interview with pro XRP YouTuber Crypto Eerie, how many people have heard of Crypto Eerie? I've never heard of this individual. St. Jean explained that the firm sources XRP through a global network of liquidity providers. So they probably use stuff like PancakeSwap, DXDY, or DYDX, you know, stuff like that, Osmosis. It secures pricing and execution that no retail buyer could match. These purchases are then held in cold storage and closely tracked through a physically backed ETF structure. Notably, St. Jean stated that 3IQ's process starts when ETF investors submit cash, which is then used to call liquidity providers worldwide. The firm negotiates XRP acquisitions at the lowest possible cost, benefiting from institutional grade access. Okay. The XRP acquired then goes into cold storage, allowing XRPQ to track the spot price of XRP with precision. This offers investors secure and direct exposure to the asset. Okay. Oh, so here's this Crypto Eerie person. Okay, let me see. Are we able to watch this?
So we, at the end of the day,
let's take a watch.
So we, at the end of the day, when people buy our ETF, we take the cash, and then we call all of our liquidity providers globally, and we negotiate as little as possible to, you know, in terms of the cost to do the transaction. No retail advisor could, you know, investor could ever buy XRP at the price that we're getting it globally. And we buy it and then we put it in cold storage. And what it does is we are some of the best in the world at tracking the price of XRP while holding the spot asset. So when you buy our ETF, you're getting really tight tracking of the price, and you're owning the actual underlying asset.
That's why they call this one a physically backed.
A physically backed ETF, correct?
Yeah, it's great.
They're much more complicated to run, but because we
now, you know, no, we're not gonna hate, right? We're not gonna hate, right? But shout out to this Crypto Eerie person. I'm not trying to. It's not often that you see a person, quote unquote, of her maturity, so to speak, right? This enthusiastic about cryptocurrency. Honestly, I think Trump might be the only one, and he wasn't he wasn't enthusiastic about crypto at first. Shout out to Lavanya. What's good with it, Lavanya? Trump wasn't enthusiastic about crypto at first. At first, he was saying, you know, he was saying the same line as, you know, everybody else. It's a scam and yada, yada, yada. He's turned over a new leaf when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? I really don't see too many, quote unquote, people of quote unquote maturity, right? I don't see too many quote unquote people of maturity really, you know, accepting or excited about crypto. So, you know, it's good to see this individual here. It's good to see grandma, you know what I'm saying, interviewing people about crypto. There could possibly still be hope for the world. Oh man.
We believe in the space and we believe that people should own the underlying. We go the distance to make sure that it's possible. As a thank you to the community and as a means to try to get as many people in the space as possible, we waived all fees for the next 6 months. And so for the next 6 months, you can come in, there are no fees. And then after that, we are still the cheapest compared to everyone else who have tried to launch these similar products.
Now, you know, shout out to these people, right? Here's my question. What are you all's takes on ETFs? Is there anybody that's just going to stop buying crypto directly and start buying ETFs? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, that's a fact. Salute to Mima. Yeah, salute to Mima. Shout out to AB. AB keeping it a buck. He said, there's absolutely no hope. There's none. It's futile. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, some elderly people see what's happening here. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's good to see. It's good to see. I'm not mad at that. Adoptable. Shout out to TD. We had a conversation yesterday. I call them adoptable old people. It's good to see adoptable old people. I hope to be an adoptable old person. I think I might actually be that right now. You know, depending on what you consider old, right? Because old is relative. You know, you could be old, you could be young. To a senior citizen, I'm young. You know, to a college kid, I'm old, right? So, you know, whatever, right? Notably, the ETF launched on the Toronto Stock Exchange on June 18th with a zero management fee for the first 6 months. It quickly gained momentum, pulling in 23.21 million within its first 3 trading days. I mean, so like how do these things work and like the price of the asset stays the same? That's the part that I truly have an issue with understanding. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you could just take in billions of dollars into an Ethereum labeled investment and then Ethereum goes down to $2,400. I don't understand that. Shout out to Katsy. Katsy says you're an old soul and a young boy. Hey, I'm in a young body. I'm not mad at that. And that's honestly that's actually kind of true, kind of. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said the YNs call us old heads, even if somebody is 30 years old. Yo, speaking of this quote unquote YN nonsense, right? How many people have heard like Jim Jones? We gotta take a moment away from crypto real quick. Shout out to AB. AB said Granny is just grifting. I'm not mad at her. Listen, I'm not mad at any grifter. I'm not mad at any grifter. I'm not mad at any grifter. Right? I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at any grifter. I might not agree with the talking points, right? I might not agree with, you know, people's things that they say or whatever. But as far as grifting goes, I'm not mad at any grifter. Because at the end of the day, in most cases, everybody's grifting something, right? Everybody's grifting something. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's going on with Jim Jones saying that he's a better rapper than Nas? What's up? What's up with that? Jim Jones is going around. I guess him and Shannon Sharp almost got into a purse slapping fight about it. They said that Jim Jones said that he was a better rapper than Nas. I don't know what kind of, he must have been getting that Harlem Angel dust that Method Man used to buy or something, but I don't know about none of that. And then I thought it was funny, you know, he said that there's a bunch of old people, quote unquote, a bunch of old people mad at him. I guarantee you, out of everybody that's mad at him, he's the only one that has gray braids. Like, bro, you have gray braids. You know what I'm saying? You have gray braids. And I mean, you know, listen, I don't know where this idea, I don't know. You know, Jim Jones has just always been kind of, you know, Jim Jones is just kind of strange. It was real fun back in the day when True Life was making videos and posting them on YouTube every day about, you know, Jim Jones. You know, I've never been a Jim Jones fan, but just I don't know, man. Like, you know, I don't know. You know, get it together, bro. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said Brandon Jamal showed a video of Jim Jones tweaking on a rooftop. He's irrelevant. He's always been tweaking. Like he's been tweaking for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? He's been tweaking for quite some time. You know, no one, like if he sat Indian style on a corner, no one would know that he was Jim Jones. Like people would just be like, "Oh, do you have a cup? I can put the change in for you, sir." Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said Moxie called him Jim Jones, the world's oldest YN. Like it's weird. Like it's you know. Shout out to Katsy. Katsy said, "Oh, he's a rapper. I thought he was the cult leader that poisoned his followers with Kool-Aid." I mean, he's actually both, right? He actually is a rapper, right? And he's actually a cult leader that poisons his listeners with Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Like he's both. Now, you know, he's not the guy that did it in Guyana. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that did it in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? But you know, right? I like, you know, the thing is, you know, Jim Jones, like, bro, you're not even better than Styles P. And he was up there on the, you know, on Breakfast Club saying that, you know, you would have some type of competition with Styles P, you know, on Versus. Now you better than Nas, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, ain't even a loyal friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even a loyal friend. You remember when Cameron used to have meltdowns? See, like, in 2025, the world has flipped upside down and people forget certain things, right? Like, you know, Cameron and Mace got It Is What It Is podcast, right? Everybody forget when Mace used to wear aluminum foil tuxedos, right? You know, some people wear the aluminum foil hats. People forgot when Mace and Betha used to wear the aluminum foil tuxedos, right? And then Cameron Dials was right outside the swimming pool talking about Curtis. Y'all forgot that? Y'all forgot the horse and carriage days? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just wild. I don't understand. The memory lapse is wild out here. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, one of my favorite Dipset members was Jules Santana. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, True Life, man, you know, he had a nice little run with those videos that he used to post up on the, you know, Cocaine City. Every time he would post up a video, he would have a different piece of Dipset jewelry. I thought that was hilarious. Shout out to AB. AB said Jim Jones out here embarrassing himself. Bro, that dude is a geriatric, he's a GYN, which is funny because like that's the initials for like gynecologist. But anyway, he's a geriatric YN. Like, bro, go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made some music that was good, but like when Curtis or when Cameron was having his meltdowns, you know, and 50 Cent was giving the Dipset the blues, Jim Jones decided to, you know, make a song with the G Unit and get on and you know, get on like a little YouTube video with 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, you're not even loyal to your friends. It's wild, man. But look, hey, people made Jim Jones great. People made him great. And this is what I like to see. I like to see this, man. Shout out to the comment section. See, this is, I think, the first, this might mark a new milestone. This is the first time I was talking about cryptocurrency and the live chat numbers were higher, and I got on talking about ignorant stuff and the numbers went down. That's what I like to see. Good. I don't know, AB Promotions. There might actually be hope. I've never seen that before. Listen, I've got to say that. I'm going to say it a million times. I got to say it a million times. I've never seen that before. I've never seen when I start talking about something ignorant, the live chat number goes down. The live chat number actually went down when I kind of went on a tangent away from Bitcoin to something dumb. Huh. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, Carlton said maybe the culture is shifting. I think it was a YouTube glitch. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said, Cameron and Mahi, we're gonna run to the top or carriage. See my love so higher. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. Mahi. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about Mahi, bro. They don't know about that Harlem Mahi. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. So anyway, this makes XRPQ Canada's largest XRP ETF, surpassing Purpose Investments XRPP, which debuted on the same day but only gathered 10.7 million in assets. Only gathered 10.7 million. Only 10.7 million in assets. Must be nice, right? I don't think we need to necessarily go through, the rest of this. We're getting to see how the market is responding to early XRP ETFs that have not yet occurred in the United States. But hopefully XRP ETFs will happen in the United States, right? And hopefully, they will increase the prices. Now, I'm looking at the market here on this Cointelegraph article, and just nothing looks good. You can round your 1,000 of ADA out right now pretty easy, right? You can round. Look at that. Cardano is only 55 cents. Do you guys remember what year was that? I think it was either 2023 or 2024. Do you guys remember how quickly XRP went to like $1.10 and it stayed at $1.10 for a long time? Imagine this. You could round your 1,000 of XRP up, or I mean of Cardano up, and imagine, if that happens again. Look at Avalanche. Look at SuiSwap under $3 is good. Toncoin is a good price right now. Everything is a good price. Even Bitcoin is a good price. Because once that bull market comes, it's going to be like a hurricane. If you guys would agree, once that bull market comes, it's going to be like a hurricane. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Once that bull market comes, the prices are going to go up faster than you're able to blink your eye at. Remember what it was around the same time when Cardano was like $1.20 or something like that. Polygon was like $1 too. You could round your 1,000 out on Polygon too. There's a lot of stuff you could get your 1,000 of real quick. And depending on if you got the right coins, you know how that go. If you got 100 of the right 1,000 coin combination, there goes your $100,000. Right? Then it's time to add another zero. Right? So let's take a look at this XRP price prediction. They're saying that an XRP breakout is coming between July and September. I mean, this is a long range, right? Basically, what this means is an XRP price breakout is coming at some point. We're not going to be real specific. Historical analysis suggests XRP's big breakout could come between July and mid-September if the price overcomes resistance at $2.40. Okay. XRP is stuck within a narrowing range over the last 3 months. Analysts say XRP price consolidation could end as soon as next month. XRP US dollar price must establish $2.40 as a new support to resume the uptrend. All right, so we got price levels we got to be paying attention to. $2 and $2.40. How many people saw XRP had dipped under $2 briefly? I think it was on that day when Bitcoin had dipped under 100,000 briefly. I was lucky. I had some liquidity that day. I was able to get some of that. I was able to get some of that. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you haven't hit the bell and subscribe to the channel, please hit the bell twice and subscribe to the channel. The XRP US dollar has traded relatively sideways since turning down from its multi-year high of $3.40 reached on January 16th, repeatedly making unsuccessful attempts to break out of the range. Several analysts say the altcoin is poised for a massive breakout into double digits, but the question that remains is when will XRP break out of a consolidation? The XRP US dollar pair could be preparing for a major upward move this summer, according to crypto analyst Greg Crypto. XRP breakout is coming, the analyst said in a Tuesday post on X, adding that its price action had formed a large symmetrical triangle in the monthly time frame, predicting a big breakout over the next few months. Greg Crypto explained that these types of setups usually resolve between 75 and 95% of the pattern's total duration. In this case, XRP has been consolidating within the symmetrical triangle for 334 days. Using historical behavior as a guide, Greg calculated two breakout timelines. 75% of 334 days is 251 days, pointing to early July 2025, and 95% of 334 days is 317 days, suggesting mid-September of 2025. So they said early July, which we're gonna be in a couple of days, and then if not July, in September. Okay, I don't know about any of this. Greg Crypto's chart includes key Fibonacci extension levels centered around a symmetrical triangle, setting a $8 to $27 XRP price target. Now, they're setting a $8 to $27 XRP price target. So, you know, I would say, like, if this thing comes into fruition, you know, I would expect it to settle in at between $12 and $15. Shout out to Carl, shout out to AB. AB said, "Thanks, Rob. Horse and carriage is playing in my head right now. Remember, what means the world to you?" Right? Remember that? And then they had the remix with UGK. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, "Too many numbers. I'm out." That's what we be dealing with. That's what we be dealing with, bro. We see it all the time. Another one bites the dust. They dust biters, you know. A growing number of analysts say the next move for XRP is upward as bears fail to establish new lows. Crypto YouTuber Dusty BC Crypto. Have you guys ever heard of this person? Dusty BC Crypto. If you guys have ever heard of this person, Dusty BC Crypto, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down. I'm gonna check these people's channels out. XRP under $2 is incredibly cheap. Bookmark this post, look back in 6 months, suggesting that the token could be trading at a significantly higher price over the next half year. Mikey Bull Crypto said that XRP could soon break out of a symmetrical triangle structure to stage a rally similar to the one seen in 2017, targeting $14. I wouldn't be mad at $14 either. XRP bulls must reclaim $2.40. XRP's potential to move higher is part of a recovery that saw the price rally 15% to a high of $2.21 on Tuesday from its local low at $1.91. How many people were able to grab up some XRP at $1.91? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said his name is Dusty. Yes, a lot of people named Dusty. I think Dusty is like, isn't that the, you know, somebody might be named Dustin or something like that. It might be a nickname. When there was a wrestler called Dusty Rhodes, right? Yeah. Remember Andre 3000? I dropped bows like Dusty Rhodes. XRP bulls must reclaim $2.40. XRP's potential to move higher is part of a recovery that saw the price rally 15% to a high of $2.21 on Tuesday from its local low at $1.91. XRP bulls are focused on breaking the resistance between $2.22, the 100-day simple moving average, and $2.40, the 200-day simple moving average. A close above this level will pave the way for a return to $3 or the 7-year high above $3.40. As Cointelegraph reported, a clear breakout above $2.22 will invalidate a bearish structure, threatening XRP price drop to $1.18. Listen, I wouldn't be mad if XRP dropped to $1.18 because I'm scooping up as much as I can at $1.18. How many people plan on getting flushed out at $1.18? Do you plan on selling your XRP for less than you bought it at? Because here goes my thing, right? If you plan on selling your XRP for less than what you bought it at, just give it to me. Just send it to me. Like wouldn't you guys agree? If people are going to do stupid things, do those stupid things in a way where they enrich us. And you can be broke and stupid, and we'll just take your money. Maybe say thank you. Right? Why not? You know, get them prices down the way they need to be. Popular XRP analyst Cassie Trades said that although the momentum is back, the price must break above two major resistance levels, $2.25, the 0.382 macro retracement, and then $2.69, the 0.236 retracement. Okay, so here's another picture of the chart. So we need to put these prices up. $1.18 was the first one, right? $2.40, $14, and $27. We need to add those prices in. Yeah, shout out to Lehman Lucas, shout out to Carlton, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Facts. I'm doing the same thing as all three of y'all. Now, here's one reason why shout out to Karen Dorsey. What's good with it, Karen? Here's one reason why the XRP price may not be moving the way that we might think it would. And this is because XRP early buyers have accelerated profit taking. So some people selling off XRP buying profits. You know, XRP is trading above $2, marking a more than 300% gain for early investors, leading to increased profit taking. On-chain data shows realized profits from XRP wallets reached $68.8 million, indicating distribution pressure as the token tests resistance levels. Despite positive regulatory developments and Ripple's infrastructure expansion, XRP faces a supply overhang from long-term holders, affecting its ability to break above $2.20. Okay. Now, another thing that we need to be doing is we need to be looking at tokens that are, quote unquote, within the affordable range and studying these tokens and seeing which ones will have price movements and value that are similar to some of these older school tokens and put these things on a timeline, right? XRP has staged one of the strongest rallies among crypto majors this cycle, but early retail holders are heading for the exit under the surface. So again, it's retail taking down the value. Now trading above $2, more than thrice its pre-rally base from October 2024, XRP has become one of the best performing large cap tokens over the past 8 months. Investors who bought below 60 cents are sitting on gains of upward of 300%, prompting a sharp pickup in profit taking. I remember when XRP was like 25 cents for like it seems like a decade. It seemed like XRP was 25 cents for like literally right up until right before the election. How many people remember that? It seemed like it would never move. According to on-chain data from Glassnode, the 7-day simple moving average realized profits from XRP wallets hit 68.8 million earlier this month, the highest in over a year. That's a clear sign of distribution pressure, with early accumulators cashing out into strength as the token tests key resistance levels just below its 2021 peak. Okay. That profit, look at this. That profit-taking pressure may help explain XRP's failure to break above $2.20 in recent sessions, despite multiple bullish headlines and technical tailwinds. Okay, so it's just let me ask you guys this question: how many people, if you guys would agree, it's just a matter of time before XRP has a major breakout? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. While the broader setup remains positive, supported by regulatory clarity in the U.S. and Ripple's growing push into tokenized asset infrastructure, and this is going to be important. This idea of tokenized assets, these things here are going to make people massive amounts of money. Massive amounts of money. Tokenized assets. Okay. A recent crypto quant analysis showed that the 1-year cumulative buy-sell quote volume difference for altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, a proxy for net investor flows, currently stands at negative 36 billion. That's a sharp reversal from December of 2024, when the metric briefly flipped positive, marking a local top for altcoins. Okay. Since then, it's been a one-way bleed with altcoin investors MIA. Crypto quant independent analyst Barak Kesmeki said in the Thursday Post. Despite pockets of strength in XRP, Solana, and a few narrative tokens tied to real-world assets, the broader altcoin ecosystem remains stuck in a bear market, he noted. And it's funny that I literally said this exact same thing yesterday. If you take away Bitcoin, the crypto market is doing horrible. The only reason why it looks like the crypto market is doing well is because Bitcoin is so big. And this is the reason why the market should be looked at with Bitcoin, and a clearer metric needs to be made where the market doesn't consider Bitcoin, so we can see the pure movements of what's going on with cryptocurrency, because Bitcoin clouds the picture because it's so big. Unless risk appetite returns or capital flows back into layer ones, DeFi, and gaming, hopes of an alt season may continue to fade in the summer. And again, I've asked this question with Bitcoin, going where it is. Like, I don't know if an alt season is mathematically even possible. Look at this XRP milestone with over 2,700 whales holding over 1 million XRP on-chain data show. We got to become whales, y'all. And this is the reason why we got to find these tokens that are in their early stages and get as many as we can early. Okay. So there's some on-chain data. Okay. There's some on-chain data. And this on-chain data kind of gives an explanation as to why there's not any $3 XRP currently. Okay. XRP on-chain data shows why $3 is out of reach for now. As long as $3 is out of reach for now, if you ask me, what that means is that people should be quote unquote buying for now, right? Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, SuiSwap, Polygon, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Toncoin. A lot of stuff is at decent prices right now. Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton Wade said you can become a whale in ZBEC. Yeah, if you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Another token that I hear is one to watch. That's a pretty good one. That's moving into the real world assets category. Is Ondo. How many people have heard about Ondo? I've heard that that's a good one to watch. XRP price struggles due to declining open interest and weakening network activity as classic chart patterns point to a further downside for the altcoin. So expect further downsides for your XRP, which means that there's opportunities for you to be able to buy. People who are trying to round out that 1,000, people who are trying to round out that 10,000. Here's the opportunity. Shout out to Emperor Rex. What's good with it, bro? Here's the opportunity. Declining daily active and new addresses signal reduced network activity, less demand for XRP. XRP open interest is down 30% in a month. XRP price is stuck below key trend lines as a classic pattern hints at a drop to $1.20. All right, so make sure that you put a note, make sure that you put a sticker, right, on this $1.20. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. Lehman Lucas said, Rob, I don't know about Toncoin. I don't know about Ton. Telegram. You said Tongue. Telegram operating network. Toncoin. Shout out to AB. AB said, my wallet is actually jumping right now. I'm sure it probably is, but I wouldn't be surprised if a big part of that jumping is Bitcoin. Take away the Bitcoin and see how good it's doing. You know what I'm saying? Take Bitcoin out of there and then see what it's looking like. If you take Bitcoin out and your wallet's still positive, you're doing pretty good. You made some good investments. You know what I'm saying? If you take Bitcoin out, you know, and it's turning red, I wouldn't worry about it. But, you know, that's just something to note, right? XRP's price has been consolidating within a tight $2.05 to $2.33 range over the last 30 days as $3 remains elusive. Key data points explain why XRP price is stuck in consolidation, including XRP's ledger's declining network activity, decreasing open interest, and weak technicals. Okay, so what this kind of seems like, this is that type of situation. The same way all of those articles come out where they're just going in on Ethereum, these articles, they're trying to get people to flush out of XRP so people can, you know, certain people can buy it up. Any article that comes out that gives you bearish information about a token that you know is going nowhere except for the sky, always look at that, in my opinion, as a buy signal. If you guys would agree with that logic, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree with that logic, then give me a thumbs down. The XRP ledger has experienced a significant drop in network activity over the last 6 months. On-chain data from Glassnode shows new daily addresses on the network are far below the 2025 peak of 15,823 reached on January 16th. Only 3,500 new addresses were created on Thursday. Similarly, the network's number of daily addresses sharply dropped to 34,360 on Thursday from a 3-month high of 577,000 on Saturday, signaling a reduced interest or lack of confidence in XRP's near-term outlook. I want to ask you guys this. I mean, you see this after you've read this sentence, right? And then the next article is prepare for a 530% XRP price breakout to $14 if this happens. You know, but before that happens, right? Before that happens, I will gladly take $1.90 XRP. I will gladly take $1.90 XRP. How many of you all will gladly take $1.90 XRP? I will be more than happy to take $1.90 XRP off of anybody's hands who doesn't want it. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Never say I didn't do anything for you, because that's me doing something for you, right? Historically, declines in network activity typically signal upcoming price stagnation or drops, as lower transaction volume reduces liquidity and buying momentum. Decreasing OI reflects XRP price stagnation. XRP's inability to reach $3 is reinforced by decreasing open interest, as per data from CoinGlass. The chart below shows that XRP open interest has dropped by 30% to $3.89 billion from 5.53 billion, suggesting that investors are closing positions with the expectation of XRP's price moving lower. Okay. Historically, significant drops in open interest have preceded declines in XRP price. For example, the current scenario mirrors the XRP price decline in January, leading to a 53% drop to a multi-month low of $1.61 on April 7th from a multi-year high of $3.40 in January. XRP price is suppressed by moving averages. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows that the XRP price is stuck below a key resistance zone between $2.22 and $2.40. This is where all the major simple moving averages currently sit. So, if XRP is stuck here in a prolonged, in a prolonged suppression, this right here is the time to be Pac-Man, right? This is the time to be Pac-Man with the XRP. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down. If XRP bulls do not push the price above simple moving averages, the altcoin may consolidate below these trend lines for a few more weeks. The last two times XRP price broke below those trend lines, it traded sideways for 30 and 65 days, then swept lower levels before breaking upward, as shown in the chart below. Okay. XRP price continues to struggle with the $2.25 level, said XRP trader and analyst Cassie Trades in a Wednesday post on X, adding, as long as this remains resistance, it increases the likelihood that we'll sweep the lower levels. $2.01, $1.90, and even $1.55 are still on the table. Let me ask you guys this question. If we get $1.55 XRP, what are your plans? Tell me your immediate plans. If we get $1.50 XRP. This aligns with a descending triangle analysis, which indicates a potential 45% drop toward $1.20 if the support at $2 is lost. If we go to $1.20 XRP, what do you plan on doing? The RSI has dropped to 51 from overbought conditions at 81 on January 20th, indicating increasing bearish momentum. Alternatively, XRP's 200-day consolidation below $3 could be a precursor for a massive upward move to $10, similar to the one that preceded a strong breakout in 2017. I don't care about any of these upside prices. The only thing that I care about is the corrections and the consolidations, the downside prices, so that I can get as much as I possibly can. That is it. That is it. I'm trying to be Pac-Man out here, right? So Cardano, which is very easy to round your 1,000 out on right now, right? They have their sights set on a new era of scalability with layer 2 advancements. I haven't seen any of these talks of these on-chain Bitcoin staking protocols. Have you guys? I've heard that, there's supposed to be protocols that are coming up where it's going to make it where people are able to stake their Bitcoin on certain chains. I haven't seen any official word of that yet. You guys let me know if you have. If you have, put the information in the Discord. Shout out to the people in the comment section. If you're not a part of the Discord, take a moment, hit that link that's pinned in the chat. Join the Discord. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Cardano is advancing its long-term scaling strategy with a fresh wave of Layer 2 innovations moving beyond the Hydra framework. This next phase was outlined during a high-level research session in June of 2025, organized by Input Output Global, the core development team behind Cardano. The event convened technical leaders from the Intersect Working Group, developers from prominent Cardano-based projects, and academic partners. Together, they outlined a roadmap where Hydra is just one part of a broader Layer 2 portfolio designed to improve speed, privacy, and interoperability across the ecosystem. At the event, several Layer 2 solutions, including Midgard, Hydra, and others, were spotlighted during the session. Hydra, built initially for fast off-chain transactions, now has two key configurations. One version, Hydra Head, focuses on small fixed payment groups using state channels, while the other, Hydra Tail, adopts a rollout model aimed at higher transaction volumes. Midgard, developed by Anastasia Labs, was introduced as a Cardano native optimistic rollup. The project features deterministic fraud proofs and minimal reliance on centralized governments. There shouldn't be any reliance on centralized governments. These things should be decentralized, right? So there's that little detail, right? There's that little detail. It was inspired by the design of the Ethereum Layer 2 solution Optimism and Fuel. Its mainnet launch is expected by the end of the year. Meanwhile, two zero-knowledge-based projects, ZK Fold and ERYX, featured prominently at the Cardano event. ZK Fold compresses hundreds of transactions into a single submission for increased efficiency. On the other hand, ERYX aims to deploy a ZK bridge that enables secure communication between Cardano chains. Another presentation came from Sunday Labs, which is working on Gummy Worm, a Hydra-inspired roll-up that separates execution from custody. This change could support more flexible DeFi operations on Cardano. Now, here's the question. What is any of this going to do for the value-added portions of Cardano? What are we like? What is this going to do to help us get some improved price action, right? The panelists emphasized that Cardano's future depends on a portfolio of interoperable L2s rather than a single dominant solution. So basically what they're doing here is they're seeing the success that Ethereum has with all of the Layer 2s and DeFi infrastructure, and Cardano has come out with their own "in order to stay relevant, we must" statement. Because everybody has a "in order to stay relevant, we must" statement, right? They stated that each L2 will serve distinct roles, maintaining composability through common standards and shared infrastructure. According to them, the goal is to offer a portfolio of solutions optimized for different use cases, ranging from DeFi and privacy to high-throughput applications underpinned by shared standards that ensure seamless cross-protocol interaction. Meanwhile, they also stressed the need to build a unified interface layer to ensure smooth interaction across these L2s. Participants noted that this approach aims to avoid the fragmentation seen in Ethereum's scaling ecosystem. However, they noted that challenges like liquidity fragmentation and poor user experience remain hurdles to adopting the L2 solutions. Due to this, they proposed several solutions, including liquidity bonding, better cross-protocol integration, and incentive structures that reward users and developers. Okay, so hopefully all of these fancy upgrades that Cardano plans on doing, hopefully they get us some fancy price action, right? That would be nice. Now we got to talk about Kronos real quick, right? We got to talk about Crow at Knife. We got to talk about Crow. We got to talk about the chain where the prices never move, the Kronos chain, right? When will Loaded Lions be able to be staked? And why can't it be staked already? You can put it in that crypto earn thing that they have, and there's no tier structure on there, which is good. But when are we going to be able to stake Loaded Lions? And here's another question. Again, I've asked this question a million times. Why is Loaded Lions 24-hour volume literally the same every single day? How is it always $1.01 million every single day? Every single day. Every single day it's the same? Seriously? I don't know. But I'd like an answer to that question. Okay. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Make sure you guys show the stream sponsors some love. All right. Shout out to the stream sponsor. Shout out to Katsy. Make sure y'all show Katsy some love. Shout out to AB. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Shout out to Tia. Make sure y'all show Tia some love. And shout out to Brooklyn Queen. We got to hit Brooklyn Queen with again.
Again!
Definitely appreciate you. If you are not subscribed to Undocumented, make sure you take a moment, subscribe to Undocumented. We're going to be talking about some things going on tomorrow on Undocumented. All right. I'm going to try to put up, some videos. Sometimes, I just don't be feeling like it, but I'm going to try to get on it more. All right. Hit the like button, drop a comment on the replay gang. All right. We going back full force. We're going to be doing some other topics besides cryptocurrency. If you see any articles where people getting flamed up off of their jobs, losing their jobs, make sure you throw it in the Discord, right? Because we got to ask the question, how you going to eat, boss? How you going to eat? And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah, hey, okay, I'm fresh up out the package. Sign my deal, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just to unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red, it's not one trillip. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. Take a cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. To get ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No cosigner, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know, cosigner, no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.